Hey everybody, welcome back to CC Group Crypto. My name is Eric and this is Web3 Wednesdays, your number one source for weekly crypto news and market analysis. Okay, so today I want to talk about the craziness that's going on with Celsius. A lot of you may be familiar because you may actually be a customer of Celsius. So you may actually be dealing with this personally, just like I am. And so I want to get into it. I want to talk about what this means for crypto. I want to talk about the latest news that we have from Celsius. And then after that, we'll go into it and we'll take a look at the charts and see what they're telling us. All right, guys. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on those post notifications. And let's go ahead and get started.
Got Adidas in my bag, gonna check 'em. Members only, gonna check 'em. Gonna check 'em, gonna check 'em. First impressions, first impressions.
Okay, so for the weekly news this week, it's all about Celsius. All right, so let's start off with what Celsius is. Celsius is a hybrid CeFi DeFi platform. Okay, so what do I mean when I say CeFi DeFi? CeFi is centralized finance. When you think of centralized finance, think of a bank like Chase, right? Like Bank of America, banks that we're used to, the traditional institutions, right? These are companies that are ran by, a centralized source, unlike crypto, which is decentralized. And so these centralized companies like Celsius, they take the DeFi, which is decentralized finance, which is a lot of the crypto things that we're familiar with. They take the CeFi and the DeFi, they combine that together, and they create this hybrid platform where it allows you to go and interact in one place like a normal bank, but behind the scenes, they're using a lot of the DeFi technologies in order to give higher interest rates, staking, all these different things that we've heard about if you're really big into the DeFi space. And so Celsius is a platform that combines these in a one convenient space, right? With Celsius, you don't have to know what staking is. You don't have to know about yields and arbitrage and all these things, right? They basically do all the DeFi work for you and give you all of the rewards. At least that's what they told us, right? So the big news is that Celsius basically had to pause all of their operations. Basically, they had to put everything on hold. The reason they had to do this is because the market crashed so hard that they got to the point to where they wouldn't be able to honor all of their withdrawals. So what does that mean? Think about this, okay? A bank, right? A bank holds people's money. And at any point in time, that bank needs to make sure that it has, right, the cash, the capital, in order to pay everyone back if they all decided to take all their money out all at once, right? They need to make sure that they have that on hand, right? Because if the bank doesn't have that cash and everyone goes and tries to take all their money out, they're going to be in the negative, right? They won't have enough money in order to pay everyone back and to honor everyone's account balances. And so this is basically the situation that Celsius has gotten into. Celsius doesn't have enough capital, enough of Ethereum. It doesn't have enough Bitcoin. It doesn't have enough crypto basically in reserves in its tank to honor all of the account balances that it's shown. Now you might be thinking, well, how's that possible? How can we collectively as people give them 1,000 Ethereum and then you're telling me they can't give us 1,000 Ethereum back? Well, yeah, that's exactly right. The reason for that is because when you give them that 1,000 Ethereum, they don't just keep it in a bank and let it sit there, right? The reason why they're able to actually pay you for giving it to them is because they're taking your Ethereum and they're loaning it out to people. They're staking it. They're doing all kinds of things to make money on it. And they're giving you basically a slice of the pie for giving them that Ethereum in the first place. And so they're doing all this stuff with your money behind the scenes, with your Ethereum behind the scenes. Banks do the same thing, normal traditional banks. So they don't have enough to cover everything. So what they had to do is they had to basically pause. They had to stop all withdrawals. They had to stop their operations. They had to say, hey, no one can take anything out of Celsius, because if everyone started pulling everything out all at once, we wouldn't be able to honor all of the account balances, and people would just be out of luck. So they paused it. Now, supposedly what they're doing now is they're working through figuring out how to make sure they can honor all the community's balances. But if you're like me, you're freaking out because you're like, oh my gosh, like what? I can't take my crypto out. I can't take my crypto out of your platform, right? And the crazy thing about it is that, obviously we trusted them to do right by us. But the crazy thing about it is like, in crypto for so long, it was always like, you keep your coins, right? You keep your tokens. You don't give them to anyone else, because if you don't have possession of them, then they basically are not yours. You don't own them anymore. And it was always taboo to really give your cryptos to anybody, to leave them on exchanges for any amount of time or anything like that. And over time, we've gotten so comfortable with some of these platforms that, say, hey, we can securely, have custody of your crypto. We can securely hold them, all these different things. Don't worry about it. You give them to us. We'll take care of you. This isn't like the old days. You don't have to keep paper wallets and all these things. You can just keep your crypto with us and everything's going to be fine, right? And we kind of bought into it. We believed that the market had matured and that these companies had matured to where they were responsible enough to handle it. Obviously, we were way wrong, right? Way wrong. Celsius, it blows my mind. It's almost like they didn't even plan for the bear market. Like they just thought we were going to go up forever. I just can't believe it. It's like I've been in crypto for 5 years, and even I know that everything doesn't go up forever, that we have market cycles, that things go up and then they come down really, really hard. It's like they didn't plan for the down. They just thought things would just go up forever and they would never come back down. And it blows my mind that this is how they behaved, and that they haven't set themselves up to make sure they were successful and that they could maintain their integrity during a bear market, because they always happen. We always have these bear markets in the crypto space. So now, they are trying to work through it and, provide us with some sort of solution. But we all know that as soon as they open those withdrawals back up, what are you doing? Taking everything out. I'm pulling all my Ethereum out of Celsius the moment that it becomes available, because I don't trust them anymore now, right? They've been somewhat exposed. And so to me, that business is probably ultimately going to be dead for them. I mean, I could be wrong, but we'll see. So what I want to do now is I want to take a look at kind of their latest information that they posted out here and see what they've kind of told us they're doing here at the moment. Okay, so here is their latest blog post, a note to the Celsius community. This is on their blog, where they have been updating us every few days on what's going on. So basically here they're saying, it's been a week since they paused transfers, and they want us to know that they're continuing to stabilize liquidity and operations. And basically they're saying, don't worry, we got it under control, right? It's what they're trying to convince us of, right? So they're saying it's been a priority since our inception to maintain open dialogues with regulators and officials, and they plan to keep working with the regulators and officials. Well, yeah, of course they plan to keep working with them, because if they don't, somebody is going to be in jail or worse, who knows? They have to. They don't have a choice. They're making it sound like, we chose to work with regulators. Like, no, you have to work with regulators. There's no choice there. Also, as well, they've paused their Twitter spaces and their AMAs or Ask Me Anythings. Basically, they're like, quit asking us questions. We're not telling you anything. Just trust us that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, which obviously doesn't instill a lot of confidence in us when there are people that literally have millions of dollars locked up inside of this platform. And so I feel for them. I have quite a bit in there as well. And so, I'm not that happy about it, but I just can't imagine having like millions and millions and you just can't get it. You can't touch it. So that is just very, very daunting. And I can just only imagine what people are doing or going through as a result of that. And so you can see there, they're saying, thank you for our support, and watch out because there's people are trying to scam. So, doesn't instill a lot of confidence for me. I personally am kind of chalking it up to a loss at this point. I hope it's not the case. I really hope they figure it out. But as soon as they get that withdrawal open, I'm pulling my money out of there immediately, probably along with most everyone else. So I'm curious on what you are doing. If some of you happen to be Celsius customers, I'm curious. I want to know if you are pulling your money out as soon as it opens back up, or if you trust them to continue to hold your assets. I mean, if they make it through this, maybe they're not as irresponsible as we thought, but the writing's kind of on the wall with this one, so it doesn't look good. A lot of people I've heard talk about this say that it reminds them of when Lehman's was about to go under, which is, when we had the big banking crisis back in 2008. So anyway, that's what's going on with Celsius. I hope it works out. If you're a customer just like me, I feel for you. I hope we get our funds back, but it's yet to be seen. Okay, so, and on that topic, let's go ahead and switch over to our market analysis. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. Let's see what's going on. Obviously, this is a very perilous time in the markets where things are going down. So the question is, how low can we go? Are we done? Is this the bottom? Are we going to go lower? What's going on? So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts, guys, and see what's going on. All right, let's take a look at the charts and see what is going on here. So, a couple things here. Obviously, we had a massive move down, right, as we've been talking about in this episode, which was here. Now, one thing that you'll notice, and this is Bitcoin, right? One thing that you'll notice is that I had these two red lines here. These two red lines represent a range here that is some pretty important areas of resistance and support. So one thing that concerned me was we came down, we stopped right on this red line, right? We stopped right on this line when we first came down, and we stood there for a minute. We didn't go up, we didn't go down, we kind of just hung out. And I knew that was a bad sign already because we didn't have a bounce. Normally when you come down, you touch a line like this that is a strong level of support, you would expect a really strong bounce, and we didn't get the bounce. So when we didn't get the bounce, I knew we were going down further. So what happened is we started to crack down even lower, and we actually managed to touch down here. This is Binance. This is 17.6. We managed to touch down 17.6, and then it got bought up pretty quickly, and now we moved back up. At this point, we're back above this red line. Being back above the red line, it is good because that means that we're above a support level. The thing that makes me nervous is the thing that happened here is kind of happening again. Where's the bounce? Where's the really strong bounce? We had a kind of a bounce here that brought us back to this level, but we've been sideways here for a while. And I don't like that. I don't like hanging out around here for too long. We got to get out of here or we're going lower. All right, because basically what this means is that if we start to go sideways at this price level, that means that there's not enough people buying it to push the price up. And if it's not enough people buying it to push the price up, eventually things are going to get stale and it's going to start to come down, right? Because there's no movement and we start to lose all our momentum. So I honestly expect this to continue to go down lower. The pattern that we formed here where we came down and we start to slowly creep back up like this is not a bullish formation. In my opinion, as a matter of fact, this looks like this is a pattern that's probably going to allow us to continue moving downwards. Same thing on Ethereum. Right now I have another line down here. This is interesting though. I believe I talked about this before, but back a while ago, I told you guys that, most of the time in crypto markets, what happens is we have our bull run. And then after we hit that peak, we kill and lose 80% of our value. And that's the major reset. And what did I do? I drew a line from the top down 80%. And just look where the price of Ethereum came. Right almost to my 80% line. I told you guys Ethereum's coming down to this 80% line. It's very, very probable. What did it do? It came absolutely down to my 80% line. As a matter of fact, this 80% line is where I started to make some purchases. So I actually started buying some Ethereum right around here. If it was a trade, it'd be a great trade because as you can see, we're up. So I basically bought the bottom right here. Now, is this the true bottom? No, just like I said a minute ago, I don't think it is. I think that we're going to continue to go down potentially. You can see this other red line that I have here, this 550 line. This is my true Ethereum bottom, around 550. That is my bottom that I think we could definitely hit. We could sink lower than that. If we come down fast enough, there's a chance that we could fly past this, and then we'll probably bounce and come back above it and hang out. But honestly, this is my true bottom. And the reason for that is, again, because of the way these markets are behaving in relation to the stock market. The stock market, as you can see here, we're looking at the S&P 500. This is not a bullish situation. This is we come down, we gain a little bit of momentum, just enough for us to start selling off again. So I suspect this will continue to start selling off again. I don't think this is the true bottom for the stock market, which means it's not the true bottom for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to continue to monitor the situation. But as I said before, I would not bet on this being it. I don't think that we're done washing out, especially considering what could happen with some of these events with Celsius. I think if Celsius goes bankrupt, like they come out and say, oh, yeah, that's it, guys. Sorry, we can't pay you back. We lost everything. We're closing our doors. I think if that happens, and the market conditions are appropriate, I think that could push us very low, right? Because Celsius has $11 billion in assets. That's a lot of money. And there's 1.8 million customers. So there's a lot of people. It's going to have a negative effect on the price of Bitcoin, of crypto in general, I believe. So if we get that bad news, I think that could just be the nail in the coffin and really continue to push us lower. Some people have started to talk about 14,000, 12,000. I'm holding off again. I'm looking for this 550 level for Ethereum. If Ethereum starts to get down to these levels, I'll definitely start buying here. If Bitcoin decides that it really wants to come down and test the $12,000 level, you can bet I'll be buying that as well. And so those are my two areas I'm looking for: 14 to 12,000 for Bitcoin, and then Ethereum we're looking to get down to potentially the 500 range. So I'd say anywhere from probably 600, 400 could even be in play depending on how fast we fall. So somewhere in that range, that's where I'll start to accumulate more Ethereum as well. Again, like I said earlier, I did buy here right at this bottom. It was a perfect little move. I did do that. I also bought some a little bit up here too, right around this 1200 mark. Again, I'm averaging into my positions as I normally do. I like to just average into all my crypto. I don't always try to time it. I just so happen to been in this market long enough to where I know, hey, this is where it's probably going to come, and I knew it was going to come down there. But don't bet on that, right? Make sure that if you are doing your dollar cost average, if you are just buying crypto on a regular schedule, continue to stick to that schedule. Continue to be consistent. Don't worry so much about these ups and downs in the prices, because remember, when you're averaging into your positions, you're always going to land somewhere in the middle anyway, right? When the price is down or when the price is up, you're somewhere in the middle all the time. So really, you get to take advantage of the dips, and you can take advantage of the highs as well. So it's really the best strategy for someone who isn't, having time to sit here and look at these charts and analyze this and learn this part of the process. You're still able to compound your money and get all those benefits of an emerging market like crypto. All right, guys, that's all that I have for you today. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Bitcoin could come down to this $14,000, $12,000 mark? Do you think Ethereum's going to see that $550 mark that I have marked on the charts? Let me know below in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. I greatly appreciate you guys' support. And always, please, again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really helps me out. I appreciate it. I'm out here. Peace.